Speaking to Italian families in Rome, there's a general reluctance to get an EV, especially amongst the older generation. They're interested in them and there's a curiosity, but they're a non-starter for so many. We've been going to Italy in an EV for years now, and we can see that things are improving, but not as rapidly as it really needs to. Hybrids, on the other hand, are everywhere. It's considered the safe choice. So, considering I'm Mr. EV, you might be surprised to hear that I just can't see EVs happening here anytime soon. Will the infrastructure grow without EVs selling in big numbers? Will people only buy EVs if the infrastructure is there? It's a classic chicken and egg dilemma. Or should that be Polo e uova? So where does Italy sit within Europe? Looking at the EU, full EVs reached a market share of 17.4% in 2025. Italy was at just 6.2%. Italy has 283,000 EVs on the road, and that's growing quickly, but not fast enough. The apartment problem. It's a no-brainer that if you can charge at home, an EV makes massive sense. It's so cheap to run and more convenient. But apartments make up half of all the dwellings in Italy, and that creates a real problem, because if you can't be guaranteed a place to charge, you wouldn't want to buy an EV, would you? Italians get stressed enough when they're driving, let alone when they're charging. Interestingly, Spain has an even higher share of apartments than Italy. They've got the highest in all of Europe, yet they've been experiencing massive growth in EVs. So apartments alone aren't the whole story. So why is Spain doing so well? Spain has had consistent, long-running incentives since 2019. But the real game changer, apparently, is low emission zones. Since 2023, every Spanish city with more than 50,000 inhabitants is legally required to have one. So nearly half of the population lives in or regularly travels through a zone where older polluting cars face restrictions, and EVs get free parking, bus lane access, and guaranteed entry. So that's a daily practical reason to go electric, not just a one-off grant. Italy has no equivalent nationwide system. So why are Italians still reluctant? Hybrids are really big here. People want to save money, and Italians are actually quite environmentally conscious. They recycle everything. But a full EV seems like too much of a gamble, for two big reasons. They're still too expensive to buy. Romans love small cars. If you go to Rome, you see the Fiat 500 everywhere, or you see the Smart 4.2 everywhere. Romans will always tell you that the Fiat 500e is a stupid price, and the Smart 4.2, that's the tiny little Smart original one, that's no longer even made, although it's going to come back later this year. So the other issue, of course, is there aren't enough chargers. Now, we spend a lot of time in Rome, and there are chargers around, but compared to London, Paris and Amsterdam, far too few to serve even a small percentage of the population. Given how every other car in Italy has a significant dent in it, maybe people just don't want to pay good money for a new car anyway. And the second-hand EV market just barely exists yet. So charging. 2/3 of all public chargers in the EU are in just 3 countries: the Netherlands, no big surprise there, France and Germany. Italy has a long way to catch up. The large Italian energy company Enel does have a sizable presence with slow chargers, but it's nowhere near enough. They do also have some rapid chargers, and in fact that's what I'm using right now. So Enel are pretty good, really. Like many countries, there are regional differences, and in the north it's surely far better, not least because actually one of the world's biggest charger manufacturers are in Bolzano in the north of Italy. That's Alpitronic. And there are good signs emerging that even in Rome, police are now strict about towing away non-EVs from charging bays. And I did see when we were driving around Rome that there are chargers going in a few places, so that's good to see. Incentives. There is something called the eco bonus, which is €6,000 off an EV or €11,000 when scrapping an old car. For lower income households, the incentive can go all the way up to €13,750. Italy put aside €595 million, and at the scheme's launch in October 2025, the entire fund was exhausted in just one day. And that's because the Italians had to go to a website called Sogay. Sogay, I think that's how you pronounce it. Anyway, it's first come, first served, and people rushed onto the portal to get the voucher, which they then take to the dealership to then get the car and get the discount. It's actually surprisingly little bureaucracy for Italy, a place where even getting a refund at the supermarket involves having to give your codice fiscale, which is like your national insurance number, as I found out today when I had to return some coffee. So there's clearly massive pent-up demand, but A scheme that vanishes in 24 hours isn't the best way to drive long-term growth. Other bonuses are in Italy that EVs are fully exempt from road tax for 5 years, and company car tax is 40% lower for EVs, which is quietly pushing fleet buyers electric, so that's great. The rise of cheap small EVs. It'll be no surprise that Teslas are popular in Italy because you're not just getting a car, you're getting a reliable charging network. And the Model 3 and Model Y are the first and third in the sales rankings, respectively. But what's really striking is that Italians also want small, cheap EVs. The Leapmotor T3 is in second place, and the Dacia Spring is fourth. The BYD Dolphin Surf is fifth. Now, once you apply the grant I was talking about before with scrappage, you can get a Leapmotor T3 for just €4,900. Isn't that amazing? I've actually been surprised to see Leapmotor T3s driving around the town we're staying. It's surprising because very few houses here have off-street parking. The vast majority are apartments. And there's only one charger here, one rapid charger, which is the one I'm on right now, for the whole of the town. What's crazy is what this means for Fiat. Fiat should be dominating here. You see the 500 everywhere. It's obviously an Italian success story. We loved our Fiat 500e. The Fiat 500 is built in Italy, in Torino, but Italians will tell you, as I said, it's overpriced. The cheapest 500e with the grant applied still costs €9,950. That's double the price of the Leapmotor, made in China and sold through Stellantis. Italy's most iconic car is losing the budget EV war in its home market, which is just a bit embarrassing really, isn't it? Fiat and others will tell you there's no demand for EVs. There's no demand for expensive EVs, and it makes no sense paying so much money for a small, low-range EV like the Fiat 500e, sadly, because it's great. No big surprise, but China are coming in and they're eating everyone's lunch. Italy's EV story is frustrating, but it's not hopeless. The demand is clearly there. The eco bonus didn't last a day. The infrastructure is slowly improving, but it's not fast enough. On the Italian autostrade, they're the motorways, fewer than half of the services have rapid chargers. You compare that to France, where practically everywhere you stop on the motorway, you'll find a rapid charger hub. What Italy really needs to do is copy what Spain have done, which is have steady incentives, a serious charging rollout, and with low emission zones, you kind of make petrol the inconvenient choice, really. By doing that, Italy's pent-up demand could translate into genuine, lasting growth. So the pieces are there, it just needs the political will to put them all together. But for now, with heavy advertising on TV for cars like the BYD Seal UDMI, stupid name that is, which is cleverly marketed as a super hybrid. It's a plug-in hybrid advertising 1,000 kilometers of range. I have a feeling it will be a long, long time before Italians feel comfortable getting an EV. It's just nice that I'm in the town that my wife and I used to live in, and finally, they've got a rapid charger. Hopefully, the next time we come back, I'll see several more of these and more slow chargers all around, because that's what we really need. It's slow chargers that drive growth more than anything else, because you should be charging your car while you're parked. And that's what places like Amsterdam are fantastic at. So hopefully, I'll do another report in a year or two, and things will be much, much better. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please press the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified of other videos, and I'll be back very soon. Ciao.